it be fun if I pluck your extra eye out for my snack and allow you to keep the other two? Because I'd hate to let you miss how I'll slaughter each mongrel of the court. Those below, those above, and that black mutt of yours. Come at me, all of you. Such ingratitude. Fighting Buddha. Have you any idea how many would give their everything for immortality? Immortality? For that word, all realms and beings have ruined themselves.
What's up, guys? Is the stream relatively stable? Good. So how are you guys doing? I've been wanting to interact with my channel for a while. I'm sorry about that stream earlier. I was having all kinds of issues, but I got it going now. Yeah, the fight scenes in this game are awesome. Based on what I've seen so far. This seems more like the plot of a Chinese Journey to the West movie than anything else. I don't know how many of those you guys have seen, but this is very similar to like how they approach the Journey to the West films. Like this right here where he's like throwing the giant axe at him. They love doing crazy stuff like that in the films in China. I doubt the game will get super bad reviews. And if they do get bad reviews, it'll be because of like how much um, it requires for your computer, or the fact that it didn't come out on Xbox or something like that. I think, as far as what they intended for this game, it's great. It's just, uh, anything that you put like a lot of ambition into, people are going to complain about because you hype it up, of course. So it is what it is. Put him back in the mountain.
And so ends the last tale of Wukong, a hero who treasured his freedom above all else. Buddhahood he attained, yes, but cumbersome he found the celestial rules, for he yearned to come back.
I'm just glad the stream is running well enough that it's not completely cringe for you guys. I remember that time I tried to play some with my Fortnite, or a Fortnite with my son. It was not good at all. I still have that video up though, just because it's such a good memory. Me and him had a blast.
This stone has stood for countless days on the mountain. Since my youth, they've said that his remains lie within it. Unbegotten, undying, such is the nature of a stone monkey.
I don't see how you couldn't tell this was a sequel right off the bat, Moon Man. Like, I don't see how you couldn't tell, bro. That's because I am the Monkey King. No, I'm just kidding.
Yet among you, there might be one who is destined. One that should recover all his scattered relics, and upon the return of the relics to Mount Tuago, he may yet rise again.
So, full disclaimer, I did play this opening scene the other night just to get I was impatient and I wanted to play and just see what the game was like. So I've already made it this far. But from this point on, I have no idea what's going to happen. Check, check, check. Can you guys hear me? Check, check, check. My stream just went. All right, let's see here. All right, I think I got it back going. All right, I think I got it back going. Yeah, not only is this game super demanding on my computer, my internet is not the best either. I kind of live in the middle of nowhere, so I have to kind of deal with what I have, unfortunately. Yeah, not only is this game super demanding on my computer, my internet is not the best either. I kind of live in the middle of nowhere, so I have to kind of deal with what I have, unfortunately. Yeah, like I was saying before my stream went out, it's ironic because I was just talking about how I was happy because the stream was working. Um, I've been wanting to interact with you guys for a while, and since I can get this working even a little bit, I may do more of these streams. But if you guys would like to ask me questions or stuff like that while I'm on stream, since it's working relatively well, to the point that you guys can at least understand me, feel free to ask. I would love to interact with you guys. I've been wanting to for a while. To the point that you guys can at least understand me, feel free to ask. I would love to interact. My phone? Oh, okay. Let me turn it down. All right, I'm just going to start playing again. So let's get this going. Oh, okay. Big old axe guy. So, one really cool thing about demons in Journey to the West is that their appearance is normally reflective of their personality. So, these demons that you run into, part of the reason that they're probably like canine or fox or, something like that is because they're wily. They're wily personality wise. So yeah, most of the time, whatever animal they pick for somebody's demonic form in Journey to the West is like reflective of their personality. Yeah, just something cool to keep in mind. I would think that the animal. Of course, I mean like the first character that Sun Wukong fights is basically the tiger demon. So yeah, I would definitely say the animal people came from Journey to the West. I wouldn't necessarily say it's lost in translation. It might be lost in adaptation because there's been so many adaptations of Journey to the West. Um, but Journey to the West is based on an actual story that actually happened. It's just got fantasy elements added to it.
What good is it to rebuild the temple if the goodwill of men has been burned to ashes? You've forgotten this place, but they haven't forgotten you. It's a tough one. Good luck to you.
Yeah, but like Sun Wukong, since he's supposed to be like the monkey mind or whatever, that's obviously why he's a monkey. And he's more monkey like whenever his demonic nature takes over. And he's more human like otherwise. That's what makes his character so interesting is that it's very similar to Goku. Like he's very human like, but when he gets excited and his heart starts going and he gets angry or he's in a dangerous situation, um, his demonic nature comes through. So he's very similar to Goku in that way. Yeah, Journey to the West research, um, he found a painting of essentially like the first ever known depiction of Sun Wukong prior to the novel, and he looked just like a hairy, like barbaric Chinese man. Like he did kind of look like an animal, but he also looked a bit more human-esque, if I remember the image correctly. He just looked like he was a wild man who had never shaved. Is this guy supposed to be a boss? Come get me, big. What kind of animal is he? Oh, he's a bull. Oh, okay, the bull guard. Oh, 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 cutscene. I was like, man, I lost. I was just about to start talking smack about how easy this boss was.
It's been a while, but your mobilized spell still works like a charm.
So I think any major problems I have with the stream is going to be whenever this game decides to load. So I might have to like restart it every time that happens. I hope not, but I kind of foresee that in the future. So just to give you guys a heads up, if the stream drops, it's normally because this goes into the loading screen, and then for some reason my stream breaks.
Sadly, mine is but a humble trick. Its power will wear off within a few short moments. Though it's good enough against boneheads like this one.
My kids started school today, so I have a bit of time to stream.
The young boys these days know no manners. Fear not. Teach them a lesson with your new staff.
Gonna try to stream as long as I can. Got some other stuff to do today, more adulting. But oh, that's all. Oh, okay, so it's the same ability I had against what's his face. Well, that was easy. Okay, so I'm assuming I can level up at that fireplace type thing. So I need to go, and I'm sure that'll bring the enemies back too, which I'm fine with. Like I understand that these games you got to level up a bit. So. But yeah, the only thing like grinding live, I don't know. So if you guys get bored, like I said, feel free to ask questions. Anything you're curious about if you've been watching the channel for a while. Monkeys are generally mischievous and rebellious, especially when they interact with like human society. Like they generally are. It's just a stereotype. All right, so I got gifts. What? All right. Well, let's check that stuff out. Oops. All right. So, assuming. Oh. I don't really know if I want to wear that. It does give me more defense, though. Yeah, baby monkeys is the key word there because once they get old enough and their nature starts coming out, they're a handful to deal with. I actually saw a video at one time of a monkey tamer. He was a complete jerk, of course, because a lot of these like monkey tamers like hit them with sticks and stuff, and they're just absolutely horrible people. But I saw a video one time. I can't remember where I saw it from. Maybe it was pictures, but of this monkey attacking its master with the stick that its master was like beating it with. I think I remember reading an article one time about a monkey who was being taught martial arts, and he like attacked his master. All right, so what should I? Has anybody played this game before? How should I go about leveling up? Let's see. Well, I only have 2 sparks. I guess I better use them. Smash stance. Got quite a few options here. Ooh, that seems really cool. I kind of want that. That just looks cool. So what do you do? Sprinting while charging? That seems like that could be useful. Each talent level slightly increases a health recovery upon consuming a focus point. Huh. Well, for early game, I guess it's probably smart that I put points into health. But then again, I can also upgrade this ability here. Yeah, you know what? I think for early game, I'll just make myself a bit more resilient. Just give myself more health. You think I should pick a stance to begin with? Okay, I'll work on the stances next. I just know based on my experience in these games that health is a big deal early game, so I'm just gonna go with that for now. But I do appreciate the advice though. But I will work on a stance next. This outfit's kind of sick. I'm not really a big fan of the mask, although it is cool because I'm pretty sure that's Mara, the god, or I mean the devil in Buddhist mythology. I'm pretty sure that's who this mask is, and that's pretty cool. But I have talked about how Piccolo was influenced by the Monkey King. I think in my Gohan videos a bit, but yeah, I will. I would like to eventually, if I have time, do an entire review of all of Piccolo's characters. So what I wanted to do, the thing is this is just such a big undertaking. It just takes so much. If I had somebody that could like help me edit, I could put out so much more content. But where I have to edit a lot of this stuff myself, it just doesn't work out that way. But what I would like to do is I would like to read the manga all the way through, focusing on one particular character. Kind of like what I did with Gohan in the Gohan reviews, but I would like to do that in like all with all the characters. Vegeta, Piccolo. If it was up to me, I would do it with all the characters and then end it off with Goku, like a huge analysis of Goku as a character. That's if I like had my choice and like I had somebody helping me editing and I could put out the content quick. I would love to do that. That'd be awesome. Oh snap! This staff made a huge difference. So this is the staff in the cutscene um, that I saw advertised. That's weird that you only get it if you buy the special edition. Hey man, that's okay. I really enjoyed Superhero, Piccolo, and Superhero. Okay, one of my favorite things that they did with Piccolo and Superhero is they show him meditating, and it's like symbolic of like him trying to like maintain balance. You remember when he was like lifting that stone island up off that mountain, and he's like trying to keep it balanced. I love that. That's like I love that scene. Oh, these. Yeah, I thought so. So, what particularly about Piccolo and Superhero rubbed you the wrong way, just out of curiosity? Yeah, my daughter just started high school, and my son just started middle school. So that's wild. I've been recently playing a lot more live music. I'm in multiple bands, and the only reason I can do that is because my kids are getting old enough that I have some more free time. Uh, but it's a weird experience seeing your kids grow up like that and become more independent. But I definitely have more free time than I used to. That's for sure. So I'm the bass player for this band that just started here locally called Serotonin, and they're kind of like a heavier band. And then I'm the lead guitar player for this band called, it's a rock band called DLS. Um, I'm the youngest person in the rock band. I'm the youngest person in the rock band, but in my that harder metal band, I'm the oldest person, which is funny. But I'm currently recording an album, and I'm going to be playing it live for the first time. Just me, not for any bands, just like my own standalone album. And I'm going to be playing it live for the first time this November. So if you follow me on Twitter, I'll probably be posting clips of it. Let's see. Meditate. This is cool. Just like a little break. Just so you can enjoy the scenery of the game, I guess. Oh, I got a spark. I see. So I should look out for those for sure. Oh, breaking containers. Reminds me of my Ocarina of Time days. I'm curious. Do you like any of the US DBZ music from the movies? Um, I like the music, but I don't like it in Dragon Ball. Like for example, Deftones, uh, in the Broly film or like in different scenes or whatever. So like some of the people they use in the Dragon Ball movies are some of my favorite bands, like in terms of like harder music, like the Deftones and Pantera and stuff like that. I just don't think it's appropriate for Dragon Ball. I just don't think it mixes. Like I like that kind of music. I even play that kind of music. The Deftones and Pantera were both like ridiculous. Honestly, probably the biggest influences on me as a musician, but I just don't like them in Dragon Ball. Of course, I have a lot of influences. It's hard for me to say who my biggest influence is. I love Jimi Hendrix. I love, um, as far as jazz goes, I like Shango Reinhardt. So, like, I have a bunch of um, influences, but all right, let's go with stances. So, smash stance, pillar stance, thrust stance. So, smash stance is the cheapest, apparently. So, I'll go with that for now. Okay, so in Journey to the West, Sun Wukong learns this technique called cloud riding, and it's just symbolic for Taoist enlightenment. Like you literally can't use the cloud riding technique if you haven't found Taoist enlightenment. So the idea is, um, they would use those clouds to go to Taoist heaven. And oh, that's interesting. Oh, a golden cicada. I remember seeing this like in previews for the game. This is cool. But anyway, so Sun Wukong learning to ride the cloud is just symbolic of him attaining Taoist enlightenment, because the clouds is normally what they would ride back and forth between Earth and Taoist heaven. But it's considered a technique that he learned by his master Subhuti. Um, and as far as the difference between how it's originally portrayed in the novel and how Goku does it. So it's called the cloud somersault in the novel, and it's kind of suggested that he just hops from cloud to cloud rather than riding a cloud around. Although most games and movies and stuff of that nature have him just riding a cloud. In the original novel, it's kind of suggested that he just hopped from cloud to cloud and he could just like jump super, super, super far. So it's a little bit different, but it's all symbolic of like purity of heart and attaining enlightenment and all that good stuff. It's all the same. Yeah, it's just, I'm not a huge fan of the dub either, because as Danny has said many many times in our streams, the script is just horrible. Like it's not even necessarily the voice acting. A lot of people get offended when you talk about anything bad regarding the dub, but it has nothing to do with the voice acting for me personally, although it's not perfect either. It's more so just the script and how it gives people a false idea of what the series is about. I just think trying to cut all of the cultural context out of Dragon Ball has been one of the biggest disservices to the series that we have ever, like, it's one of the biggest. Now, don't get me wrong. I understand that localization exists for a reason, and I understand that it's like low key a good thing in some ways, but at least be consistent with portraying things the way that they're supposed to be portrayed, and the narrative of the series and the cultural background of the series. Like when your script is just overtly ignoring like the cultural context of the series, that's when it gets on my nerves. And Dragon Ball does that a lot. I mean, people even joke around about how Goku is just like Eastern Superman, because of the dub. So it just gets on my nerves. It's not necessarily okay. So as far as the dragon riding thing, the dragon will come down and take people to Taoist heaven, right? So essentially, like heaven will send a dragon down to bring someone to Taoist heaven if they haven't discovered the ability to do it themselves, like some Wukong did. So it's not necessarily that it's different than the cloud thing. It's just they're both symbolic for the exact same thing, and they're both used for the same purpose. It's just like the context is a little bit different. Like even Buddha himself, in certain legends, was sent down and brought into Taoist heaven by a dragon. Um, but the nuance between Taoist heaven and Nirvana is that Taoist heaven exists within our realm, and Nirvana is free. It's freedom from our realm. So if you're a Taoist, you have to put all this effort into maintaining your immortality, but you still exist within samsara. So you still have to deal with the cycle of rebirth and death if you can't maintain your immortality. Whereas like Nirvana is freedom from it's freedom from all of that. That's the reason that Buddha like is more powerful than any of the Taoist gods, because he resides within Nirvana and he is above all the laws of reality. Whereas the Taoist gods are only above it in the sense that they have achieved like a they've achieved Taoist immortality, and it's more limited in comparison to actual enlightenment within the context of Buddhahood. So this story, it's not necessarily an anti-Taoist story, but it does criticize Taoism a bit. Sun Wukong himself is like a representation of the ideas of Taoism. That's the reason that Buddha is above like the Taoist gods and Sun Wukong, but it does like implement like a hybrid ideology in terms of like finding merit in both the teachings of Taoism and Buddhism, which is why Sun Wukong ultimately ends up becoming the victorious fighting Buddha, because he's like a hybrid between the two ideas. Whoa, I just fell off that bridge. Yeah, he's basically trying to become a Buddha without becoming a Buddha. So Sun Wukong's master Subhuti teaches him how to become a Buddha at will, which he is essentially in a sense becoming a Buddha at will, but he still lives within samsara. Okay, so despite the fact that it says in the novel he can become a Buddha at will, he still exists within samsara. So he's technically not really a Buddha until the end of the story. When Subhuti says that he can become a Buddha at will, what he means is he's becoming an immortal, and he's becoming less subject to the elements and things of that nature when it comes to mortality. So Taoist immortality is not as sufficient or powerful as being a Buddha. It's like a that's the reason that his master Subhuti actually tells him that the gods are going to come after him, because unless you're like an actual Taoist deity and you get the okay to have Taoist immortality, you're not supposed to use that technique to attain immortality. It's like kind of against the rules. Demons do it anyway, and Sun Wukong did it anyway, but it's technically kind of considered a taboo technique in Journey to the West to use what Sun Wukong uses to attain immortality. It's not. It's that's part of the reason that Subhuti tells Sun Wukong after he teaches him it. He's like, "Do not tell anybody that I taught you this," because he's basically just trying to communicate, "Hey, I taught you this, but you know." He knew that Sun Wukong was going to abuse it and not use it correctly. It's funny because it's almost like Subhuti knew that Sun Wukong would be a form of karmic justice for the Taoist deities, so he went ahead and trained him anyway. It's very interesting. So I have no idea what this guy is. I'm kind of skeptical to just go in and fight him. Screw it. Let's go. Wish me luck. Whoa. Okay. It's Pinhead, bro. What the heck? Oh, okay. So this guy's definitely not going to be as easy as the other boss. Oh, okay. Looks like I'm not ready to fight this dude. He's quick. Oh, poor guy. It's unfortunate that I don't have infinite of that immobilized because it seems like that's kind of what you need to beat him. Oh, okay. Buddha palm technique. What? That shocked me. Well, I guess I better retreat. Looks like I've got some grinding and leveling up to do, unfortunately. But I guess it won't be too bad since I've got the chat. I need to find... There's no map in this game? That's not good. They need to fix that. Like, I'm a huge Journey to the West fan. I love Sun Wukong and I love video games. But I'm not gonna glaze this game for not having a map. Like, that's ridiculous. This game should definitely have a map. Oh, looks like I've already got some points to spend. That's good. That guy is one of the transformations you get later. Oh, that's cool. Wait, the big guy with the big head? The pinhead guy? Bro, I'm just lucky. Accelerator, I'm just lucky I have a killer ass memory, bro. Otherwise, I would not have known how to get back here. All right, so I have a point to spend. Oh, I'm definitely going to explore for sure. I think there's just certain bosses that if you can't beat them, you can't progress past a certain point, and that's unfortunate. But yeah, I'm definitely going to look around and explore for sure. Huh. Well, I guess I'll use that. I'll level up a bit more. Oh, snap. There's the big pinhead guy. So you get to transform into that guy? That's wild. I knew there was transformations because I watched the demo. But I thought the first one you got was like a tiger guy. Or no, it was the black bear demon, I think. I'm assuming all of these guys work for the black bear demon. Because that would make sense with the novel. What's up, buddy? Thank you guys for tuning in. Like I said, I'm just glad the stream's stable enough I can interact with you guys at all. Oh, okay. Oh, what the heck? This guy's no joke. That's a lot of damage. Wolf with a fire staff. I see. So, I was gonna title all these streams Dragon Ball fan plays Black Myth Wukong, and then when Sparking Zero comes out, I'm gonna title it Wukong fan plays Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. I just thought that'd be funny. Bulma is based on Tripitaka. So there is a lot of connects. There's a lot of stuff that like connects her to him, and there's stuff that like Toriyama does with her that's very reminiscent of him. Like for one thing, Tripitaka is very vain. He looks good and he knows it. He also like is known as the youthful monk. He maintains looking youthful because of his practice of Buddhism. And Bulma is constantly like wishing for youth. I think more than anything, Bulma is supposed to be like an anti Tripitaka in the same way that Goku is supposed to be like an anti Sun Wukong. Like a lot of the negative character traits that Bulma has is just a reflection of the positive character traits that Tripitaka had for the most part. Yes, Bulma, Krillin, and Cell are all based on the same character. That's true. Of course, Cell is also just a mixture of all of the villains that Toriyama had done prior as well. So Cell's a bit more of a nuanced case. But ultimately, yes, he is based on the Golden Cicada for sure. Oh, okay. So here's the okay. No, this is okay. Maybe this is the form that I saw. I think this might be it. Actually, I wonder how hard this guy is. If he's harder than the other guy, I'm not sure I can beat him. But screw it. Let's just attempt it. Oh, Wang Zi. Okay.
What say you?
Sit still, bro. Move around too much, man. Chill. Look, just do stuff like this. Oh. Whoa. I love the sounds that some Wukong makes in the early game, but the sounds here they sound like Bruce Lee. I just think it's dope. Oh, snap. That didn't feel good. Oh, no. Oh, no. I'm about to die. Oh, no, no, no. Ah, so close. Ah. He's not as hard as the other guy, though. At least I can level up now, I guess. I probably should have just went ahead and used my sparks earlier, but it's whatever. All right, let's see. Dude, I don't know anything about this game. I mean, I guess the controls are relatively simple, but I'm just kind of going with it. That'll be handy. Yeah. I don't know if they come from another universe. I just think that they're not normal beings. They're not like, I mean, they're mortals obviously, but they're not something created in Universe 7 or Universe 6 in my opinion. I think that they predate. They either predate it or they came there, you know. I've had all kinds of theories about the Namekians in terms of like where they came from, who exactly they are, stuff like that. Um, but theories don't really mean anything anymore because unless it's something that Toriyama communicated to Toyotaro before he left, which is possible. Everything we get now is going to be based on Toyotaro's lore and his interpretation of things. So I can speculate, yeah, but in terms of like sadly, some questions about the actual like Toriyama centric lore will never get answered. unless, of course, he communicated a lot of these things to Toyotaro before he passed away, which is possible, considering that they started discussing the Namekians in the Granola arc, and then Orange Piccolo, and so there has been a lot of stuff with the Namekians lately. So it's possible, and Daima, from what I've heard, is going to have something to do with the Namekians as well. So hopefully we get it in Daima. I would like that. I think it'd be nice. All right, round 2. I can't even watch half of Dragon Ball YouTube, bro. I can't do it. Like most of Dragon Ball YouTube, I can't watch, unfortunately. Come at me, son. Is he glitching? Well, I spanked him that time. He didn't have a chance that time. All right, so that must be the transformation.
Now everyone knows you're here. When a chime so grand echoes in the forest, the outcries will surely.
I have no issue with that. They were already alarmed anyway. Who cares? If anything, that might make the game more fun. Because, no offense, but those little wolf guys are kind of a joke. I am looking forward to having like stronger base enemies in this game. Oh yeah, the bosses have been crazy, especially that big blue dude, which I'm probably about to try and fight him here again here in a minute. might like use my transformations or my new transformation to take him on. See if I can beat him with that. Ugh. Go straight back to home base. Just got to equip it on the left D-pad. Okay, that's good to know. What's a play in Journey to the West that I'd like to see in Dragon Ball in the future? Honestly, a lot of the stuff I would like to see they've done. Unfortunately, like, or not unfortunately, I guess I should be grateful, but like, I don't know. That's an interesting question. Ultra Ego was really a treat for me in that way because it's like one of the most blatant Journey to the West forms in Dragon Ball. To be honest, like it's not that. See, Ultra Instinct has like the whole allure of no mindedness and the martial arts aspect of it and stuff like that, which exists outside of Journey to the West. But Vegeta is straight up just a monkey mind reference in Ultra Ego. Like you can't. There is no like dancing around that. It's extremely blatant. So I doubt they'll ever give Goku all of Sun Wukong's powers because he would be ridiculously OP if they did. I think his powers are always going to be martial arts centric, which is why, despite the fact that Goku, oh, I'm sorry, despite the fact that Sun Wukong can transform into different animals and stuff like that, um, Toriyama only ever gave that ability to Puar and Oolong because it's not a martial arts based ability. So I think when Toriyama thinks of like what abilities he's going to give Goku, he always makes it very martial arts centric, and I don't think that's ever going to change. Oh yeah, I mean yes, of course, Toriyama, yes. The simple fact that Toyotaro made Ultra Ego basically gives away that Toyotaro knows exactly like what he knows all this stuff that Toriyama is thinking. Like whenever I found out that Toyotaro created Ultra Ego Vegeta, it gave me so much more. Not that I didn't have a bit of faith in him to begin with, because the moral arc is like a huge love letter to a lot of Journey to the West movies. But like when he made Ultra Ego, that basically gave away that he knew what was up. Like Toyotaro knows what's up. Like he knows that Toriyama took from Star Wars and from Journey to the West and from martial arts based concepts. It's very, very clear that he understands all that good stuff. So it's not that I don't have any faith. Actually, like if anybody was going to take over the Dragon Ball franchise at this point, due to how Toyotaro has been, groomed, and the things that he understands on a greater level than most other authors, fan authors like Young Gigi and these people. I think Toyotaro is the ideal guy because he actually had interactions with Toriyama. He actually understands a lot of this stuff on a deeper level now due to that. So yeah, I do think that Toyotaro understands this stuff, and I do think that he's pretty decent at implementing it too. I don't think he gets enough credit for that, and I don't think Toei has necessarily been bad at it either, because you have to remember Toei is aware of this stuff too. They make that blatant. I don't know if you've ever seen the original Dragon Ball filler, but there's tons and tons of Dragon Ball filler that straight up gives away that Toei is also aware of how Toriyama does all of his writing stuff as well. So it's a generally decently well known thing amongst Toei and Toyotaro and the general staff where exactly Toriyama's mind's at. It's just that some people are better at doing that than other people when it comes to like the people that work around Toriyama. Like Koyama, if you look at Koyama, he created Broly. There's tons of Journey to the West stuff about Broly, so he knew as well. He's just not as good at implementing it as Toriyama is, of course. But he, generally the staff knows about this. Like they know like where Toriyama's getting his inspiration, how he implements it, and stuff like that. Like they understand. I would say a lot of people in Japan understand it better. I wouldn't say everyone. I would say a lot of people do for sure. Um, because some people like just because you live in Japan doesn't mean you're interested in mythology or things of that nature. Like it's even if they teach it in schools, it doesn't mean you're necessarily going to be interested in it. Or even remember it. So. Hmm. Oh, they all ride around the same folk tales. Yeah, that's true. They do that. That's true. I misunderstood what you were saying. That's my fault. All right, my dog's scratching on my door. I'm gonna let her in real quick. I'll be right back. Oh, no telling what kind of adventure she was getting into out there. All right, it's literally the Super Saiyan form that Vegeta has dreamed about was. Yeah, yeah. Ultra Ego is literally just that it is what Vegeta thought the Super Saiyan was supposed to be. That's true. That's blatantly true. Because and if you watch my latest video, you'll understand this very well. What Vegeta thought the Super Saiyan was somebody who loved battle and of overall things essentially. And whenever Vegeta goes into the Ultra Ego form, he literally talks about how his heart pumping and his blood pumping in battle is like affecting his mindset. So yeah, a lot of people don't catch on to that about Ultra Ego. They really don't. All right, so where am I supposed to go now? I'm assuming I'm supposed to go. Oh, I should probably go fight that big-headed guy. Yeah, that's right. Try out this new transformation. All right, wish me luck, guys. Wish me. Oh, you know what? No, I'm gonna go rest first. I just realized I haven't. I didn't rest. I just leveled up. I don't. There's no way I'm gonna attempt to fight him with like no flasks. No way. You know, this would be a good opportunity for me to figure out how to go back to. Um, okay, there it is. I'll assign it to. How do you assign it? Equip. Sweet. Thanks to whoever told me. I can't remember who told me how to use that, but thank you, whoever told me about it. Yes, Beerus. See, a lot of people don't. One thing I love about Beerus, a lot of people overlook, is he's literally his existence only. He only exists in Dragon Ball because of Vegeta. Like he's literally an extension of Vegeta's character. Like in the original Japanese dialogue for the original Battle of Gods movie, one of the biggest criticisms that Goku has for Beerus is the fact that he enjoys destroying people. And that's done on purpose because that's anti martial arts in nature. You're not supposed to enjoy. Like when Goku fights Moro and kills Moro in Ultra Instinct, he doesn't enjoy doing that. When Zamasu like kills a Barbary, he enjoys doing that. Like that's something that the series like goes out of its way to point out is that like killing people sucks, but it's not necessarily a bad thing unless like you enjoy doing it. You know what I mean? That's why that's like there's a degree of nuance there that like doesn't really fall well um, into the fans. Like it people a lot of people just don't catch it because they're like, oh well, Goku kills, and they think that he's like they compare him to the other characters that kill when it's just not the same thing. Like the entire point of Goku's character and some Wukong for that matter is that he can kill people with a pure heart, and that's what makes him so dangerous. Is that he, despite the fact that he kills, he can do it while maintaining a state of Buddhahood, and that is the reason that he is unbelievably dangerous and very and ridiculously powerful. That's the reason he's such a threat to the Taoist deities. All right, here's this big guy. All right, let's see how this goes. Heavy attack, moon lace, moon dash. Continues to slash in the building up focus unless a series of dash attacks. Oh, okay. It sucks that you can't heal on this. Oh, it has its own health. Oh, that's interesting. Buddha palm, bro. Oh, okay, that hurt. Ow. Well, that sucked. A giant what? This Wukong guy seems like a giant Goku ripoff. That's funny. Do you know of a channel called Ego Podcasts? No, I've never heard of such a thing. Is it interesting? Should I look into it? I actually thought about naming my band Ultra Ego. Like my band. Like my personal band, but I don't know if I'll do that or not. But I have thought about doing it. Originally, I had thought about naming it Ultra Instinct, but there's a band that's already called Ultra Instinct, unfortunately. So I don't know how many of you guys play music or have any experience in the music industry or whatever, but finding a unique original band name is like next to impossible. Like next to impossible. Like something that like sounds cool and like represents what your band is and that is also unique. It's just like it's you got to really put some work into it. But when I play music, um, so I consider playing guitar no different than being a martial artist. Like the reason I love playing guitar and the reason that I work so hard to like be good at it is because it's like to me it's no different than like wanting to improve as a martial artist. Like you even have to like develop muscle memory. Like you have to make your playing second nature in a very similar way to martial arts. So when I play music, I generally like I want to go into it to improve myself as a musician. Like I don't necessarily have any big aspirations of being famous or anything like that. I just like want to like get better. Like I want to be as good as humanly possible. And I just think it'd be cool to have a Dragon Ball centric name because of like my approach to music and my ideology. Damn. He used that one early this time. Yeah, I'm not ready to fight this dude. You think it was created just this year, actually? Huh, interesting. So, I don't necessarily want to move past that guy and go to the next area. So, I guess what I'm going to do is I'm going to grind a little bit, kill some of these guys, try to level up because I can already tell a significant difference in my ability to handle that guy. Just based on a little bit that I've leveled up. So I'm probably just going to level up some more and then go fight him again. Whoop him. Huh, so, oh wait. So I guess since the guy here doesn't respawn, he must have been a special enemy. Oh. What a snicker. That guy looked like a goat. I have to go back and look at it even closer, but he didn't even look like one of these wolf guys. I think he was a different animal. Oh, this is just the cave. That's right. This is just where I level up and rest and stuff. So there's a reason he's a difficulty spike? Is that what you're saying? Can I even go past him? Oh, yeah, it looks like I can. Maybe I might go past him a little bit just to see if there's somebody I can use to level up more down here. I'm taking it that somebody after him is going to be much harder, and that's what you're getting at. Channel my inner Buddha, and the game will be easy. That, yeah, easier said than done, my friend. Buddhahood is not easy to attain. That's for sure. Oh no, he is a dog guy. Guanyin Temple. I'm kind of skeptical to go in here. Okay, if I go in here, can I go back? Can somebody tell me who's played this game? If I go in here, do I lose the opportunity to defeat the big guy? I need to know before I walk in here. Never mind. No, Buddhism is not the same thing as Taoism, not at all. Taoism was founded by Lao Tzu. Buddhism was founded by Gautama Buddha. They're not the same thing. They have similar ideologies, but they're not the same. So Buddhahood is all about casting off your desires and not allowing your ego to affect your conscious decision making. Taoism is similar, but it's more about embracing your natural self. So in some cases, and that's the reason that's like a debated ideology in terms of Journey to the West, is because some Wukong is a demon. He is a like his nature. don't get me wrong, like he develops the nature of a Buddha as the series progresses, but he's technically he and a lot of the demons that he fights, who are also, and even like the Taoist priests that he fights, are embracing their natural selves. It just so happens that their natural selves aren't necessarily good. So, um, now Lao Tzu taught that everybody is actually good by nature, and that everybody has something very similar to a Buddha nature, and that is the true nature of reality and of the world. So, like Ultra Instinct, for example, the concept of no mindedness is just a reflection of Lao Tzu's teachings. Like, he believes that that is the true state of the. So, when you attain a state of no mindedness, within his teachings, the idea is that you are also attaining the mindset of the universe, essentially, which I know seems kind of contradictory, but um, the consciousness, the state of consciousness that you achieve when you achieve a state of no mindedness is essentially the state of it's like the consciousness of the cosmos, essentially. So it's very interesting in that way. Whereas Buddhism is about escaping reality altogether, like escaping the cycle of reincarnation and things of that nature. Taoism is also about embracing naturalism and the fact that you are a part of a never ending cycle and that you will inevitably be destroyed. The earth will be destroyed. The entire universe will go through a cycle where everything is destroyed and reborn, and you're just supposed to accept it, essentially. So, like eons from now, something similar to you will be born on a similar planet, and we just have to accept that that's how everything works. Um, and Buddhism, it's like the opposite. It's like you're not supposed to accept that necessarily. You're supposed to, through accepting it, escape it. Right. So they're different. They're similar, but they're very different. They have similar ideas in terms of what's right and wrong, like what the true nature of humanity is, and things of that nature. But it's not completely the same. Now, karma exists as sort of a scientific concept within Taoism. Like, they do believe in karma in terms of like cause and effect, but they don't believe in the spiritual. Generally, I mean, even most like uh, higher up Buddhists will tell you that karma is like a universal law and not necessarily a spiritual thing. But then other sects will say that it is a spiritual thing. So like the thing is like there's so much debate amongst. It's very similar to a lot of Western religions. There's so much debate around like what exactly Taoism and Buddhism is. Not that there's not like set rules to what the religions themselves. See, they just told me for me. Are defined as like there is set rules that define like what they are, but even like there are philosophers and people within those communities that debate, the validity of certain ideas and what exactly Buddhism and Taoism represents and interpretations and stuff like that. So, I mean, there is a lot of it that is up for interpretation, but at the same time, like it's generally established like what they are conceptually. As a matter of fact, there was like a lot of controversy in early Eastern history surrounding Subhuti, or not Subhuti, but Lao Tzu, the guy who created Taoism. There was a lot of people who consider him the true Buddha, the original Buddha, and that Buddha was just ripping him off. Gautama was just ripping him off, which I don't think that's the case. But there is a group, there is like a hardcore Taoist religious group who is firmly against the ideas of Buddhism simply for the fact that they believe that Gautama was essentially just taking the teachings of Buddhism and framing them the way that he wanted. Okay, so that transformation is for beating this character. I understand now. I understand. I get it. So I basically need to like, ooh, that Buddha palm hurt. I need to like keep my distance as much as I can, um, until the transformation recharges, and then the transformation seems to be his weakness. Um, it just takes so long to charge, though. I don't know if I can do that. I did a significant amount of damage too. It didn't stun him as long as the transformation did. But. Son of a bitch. No, no, no! Oh. No! So frustrating. All right, well, let's try it again. When will your videos be translated to the Spanish language? I had never thought about translating my videos to Spanish. Um, I'm sure there are probably applications and like things you can do that, but I had never thought about. I don't even know how I'd go about doing that, to be honest with you. Like I couldn't just like re-upload my videos in different channels. Maybe I could start a second channel in Spanish. I guess that'd probably be the way to go about it. Um, but I had never thought about it, to be honest. Oh, right, there is an altar closer to the. Okay. All right. Well, if there's an altar closer to him, I guess I'll try to find it. Hi, Hunter. Happy birthday, buddy. I'm sorry I didn't let you know I didn't tell you in the Discord server. Just been very, very busy. I worked sound for like the past 3 days at different places. I was working the soundboard for different concerts, so I've been very, 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 very busy. Well, hopefully I'll beat him this time and I won't even need it. Ouch. Ouch. Oh, that's great. Now I got enemies coming after me. That's awesome. Ouch. Ouch. Oh, no, man. That transformation takes forever to charge. Oh, what was that? He just walked through me. This is on PC. I was gonna buy it for my Xbox because I figured it would be less demanding on my computer if I like streamed it from the Xbox, and it would be. I mean, but it didn't come out on Xbox, so I couldn't do that. But so I just ended up buying it on PC. I think you have to be super aggressive when you freeze them. It's your best attack, basically. Okay, I'll remember that. So basically, what you're saying is, I got to do the light attacks, not the heavy attack. I'll try to find the altar this time too. Okay, so you said it was on the left of him, so I'll wait for him to turn around and then I'll go that way. Wait. Is this the altar you're talking about? Because I already knew about this one. This is the one at the start of the. Yeah, I already knew about this altar. It's like the first one you get. But I guess it doesn't. I guess I can go back to this one. It might make it easier to. If it's not the same one, let me know because I'll try to find the. I'll try to find the one you're talking about. I wonder if I can level up. Oh, so I can do. Okay, that's good to know. Um, all right, I'm a little bit tougher now. Maybe I can beat him this time. It'd be nice. Yeah, but just for those of you who don't know, um, I edit videos for people on YouTube for money. Sometimes that's like basically my primary source of income, um, outside of doing YouTube itself. But I have a job as a stage manager at my local Grand Theater, so I'm constantly like managing big acts at this theater as well, and will be for a while. And then I'm also a sound engineer for a bunch of local businesses and stuff like that. So outside of YouTube, I've actually been pretty busy. It kind of sucks because like I don't have as much time to edit videos for the channel as much anymore. I've low key been trying to like I've been considering maybe hiring somebody to edit for me. The issue is that I am so picky about how my videos are edited or how my videos are edited that I guess that's like one of the main things that has always held me back from like getting help editing is that I'm so unbelievably picky about like how the information is portrayed in my videos because like the images and stuff that I pick for my videos I pick everything for a particular reason so it can essentially relay the information to you in a way that I want to relay it. So it's really hard for me to just hire somebody to edit for me because they're not necessarily always going to understand exactly how I want to portray the information to my audience. But I have been considering like getting some help just so I can put some more content out. But we'll see how it goes. All right, let's try and take this guy out. Oh, that was a mistake. Yeah, I did not start this fight off good. That's for sure. All right, so let's see what happens if I just beat the crap out of him while he's immobilized, like you said. Oh yeah, that works way better. That works way better. I appreciate that advice because that did way more. And trying to charge that attack is a pain. Like as you're like trying to get to him, it's a pain. So I'm assuming this guy is a monk who became a demon. That makes the most sense. He's holding the monk beads. Um, he's using the Buddha palm technique. So I'm assuming that that's what this is. He's a monk who became a demon, which is interesting. It happens quite a few different times in different stories. As a matter of fact, one of the first stories in Journey to the West, um, they come across a monk monastery, and because it's monks, Tripitaka just automatically assumes that they're trustworthy. but they actually end up trying to like steal his robe because it's like worth a lot of money, and they like set the house that Tripitaka and Sun Wukong are in together on fire to like kill him like after. So just because you're a monk doesn't mean you're a good person, essentially. Yeah, got him. Yes, Inuyasha is directly influenced by it is literally Journey to the West. Like it, it does, like you can clearly see it. I mean, it's very clear. I mean, there's even an episode where they run into Sun Wukong, and Inuyasha's wearing the Sun Wukong headband. Uh, yeah, it's for sure. Like Inuyasha is a Journey to the West based anime. And don't get me wrong, it's a Japanese anime that plays on a lot of Shinto themes, just like Naruto, but it's very blatant about uh, the Journey to the West stuff. The thing is like once you learn like what Journey to the West is, like you'll find that like most anime it references or manga references it in some way. Like, you know, even Naruto, Kurama is like Naruto's demon nature. He befriends his own demons. He learns to make his demons his best friend. It's like it's all based in the same ideology and the same concepts and stuff like that. Like it's all the same. So now Dragon Ball is definitely more direct about it, for sure. It's not completely direct about it as the series progresses because it becomes more about martial arts philosophy and how Journey to the West influenced martial arts philosophy. But let's see, I can craft armor. What the heck? It did take to. So I take it poisoned and burnt is going to be an issue soon in the future. So I take it poisoned and burnt is going to be an issue soon in the future. If you want to read Journey to the West, go to Journey to the West Research's Twitter page. He has a bunch of different copies in a bunch of different languages pinned to the top of his Twitter profile. So if you want to read the novel, he has a bunch of free copies of it pinned to the top of his Twitter profile in different languages. So I definitely strongly encourage you to read it. It's a great novel. I've read it multiple times. Huge fan, obviously. Um, oh, well. Oh, I can't do all this while I'm fighting him. That's great. Those things would have been handy when I went to go fight this guy. All right. Won't let me escape either. All right, screw it. Let's just attempt to beat him. Ooh, okay. So if he licks his hand, that means he's about to pimp smack me. Okay, I get it. Oh, it's called Journey to the West Research on Twitter. It's pretty easy to find. Oh man, he just pimp smacked me. He said, "Where's my money?" Bam. Okay, let's see. Now I can equip all this cool stuff. Oh, that's better. Okay, I see. I'm glad I didn't craft the other piece of armor then. Wait, why didn't it? There we go. All right. Not this time. You ain't smacking me like that again. Quit running away. What a wuss, bro. Come on. At least I just die willingly by getting up all up in your grill. Come on. I said no. No pimp smack, dude. What? The Tao Te Ching is not an easy book to read anyway because it's a philosophical book. But next time I do a video, I'll post the link at the top to the or you know what? Follow me on Twitter. I'll DM you a good copy. Just follow me on Twitter, Jordan L. Durham on Twitter. I'll DM you a good copy. Just DM me. I'll accept it. I'll send you a decent copy. That's the best way I know about getting you a good translation. But Lao Tzu speaks in a lot of code, so it's not easy to pick up on what he's talking about. Like you have to really be locked into what he's trying to say to understand. Like it's not an easy book to comprehend anyway. Journey to the West isn't either because it plays on a lot of Lao Tzu's concepts and stuff like that. But you know, the Tao Te Ching has a very interesting story behind it. I don't know how much research you've done into what exactly that book is, but that book is literally so Lao Tzu, the guy who wrote the Tao Te Ching. The entire reason that he wrote the book is because he wanted to. He was an advisor to the emperor at the time, and he wanted to completely separate himself from society. He wanted to go live as a hermit in the mountains and retire and just live his life carefree. Because people essentially, he became a hermit, and I relate to this a lot. I've talked about this before. But he became a hermit because of his disappointment with mankind. Like that's essentially like he separated himself from mankind due to his disappointment with mankind. But anyway, the emperor basically told him, okay, well, if you want to go retire and live by yourself or whatever, that's fine. You can do that. But before you can do that, you have to write me a book with all of your knowledge. So essentially, um, before he would let Lao Tzu retire, Lao Tzu had to write an entire book with his knowledge. So the book itself, despite the fact that it does have a lot of Chinese mysticism and a lot of knowledge and a lot of stuff, the book itself is actually a criticism of the emperor. If you read it, if you look at it from like the backstory, like it's actually kind of a criticism of the emperor at the time because, of course, the emperor was a very egotistical person. He was not the greatest ruler ever. So essentially, like Lao Tzu's book is not just a guide to be like the ideal human being. It's more so a guide to being the ideal ruler. And so a lot of the stuff that he talks about in the book is a criticism of the emperor of China at that time. He's literally like criticizing a lot of what the emperor is doing. It just so happens that the emperor within the book is sort of an allegory and a metaphor for all of the things that Lao Tzu himself was criticizing about people at the time. So there is some like context that goes into the book that like makes it easier to understand. And that context exists outside of the book itself for the most part. So it's very similar to like Dragon Ball and Journey to the West, and there's like context that exists prior to the actual book that helps you understand exactly what the book is. Very similar to how like understanding Journey to the West will help you better understand Dragon Ball. It's a very similar thing. But any questions you have about correctly interpreting the Tao Te Ching or Journey to the West or Buddhism or any of those things, you can just ask me. I don't like that's what I'm here for. I don't mind to help guide you through the process of learning about that stuff because it is very interesting, and I recommend that everybody learns about it. So. Yes, I have watched Avatar. I remember when you asked me about it on Twitter. I pointed out that even the beginning of Avatar is literally just like Journey to the West. They literally find him encased in an ice egg. So yeah, like Avatar is very heavily based on the Chinese idea of the five elements, just like five elements out mountain from Journey to the West. It all connects, man. Like it's all they're all of these stories are very similar to each other. They all have the same basic roots in terms of like where they're getting the inspiration for the story and stuff like that. And I'm interested in everything that has anything to do with that. Like I love that kind of stuff. Like don't get me wrong, it's not just Chinese mythology that I'm into. Obviously, I wrote Dragon Ball Infinity, so I'm like super big into like Egyptian mythology. Um, Not to toot my own horn, but I think I'm one of the purveyors of pointing out just how similar some Wukong is to Bobby from Egyptian mythology. I think I'm one of the first people who really pointed out how similar some of the legends are in Chinese mythology and Egyptian mythology through Dragon Ball Infinity and through my research and just talking about it in general. But I have a major interest in all this stuff. I think it's very interesting. I think it's useful information for your everyday life. I think a lot of people probably disagree. I've seen a lot of people rip into Buddhism and Taoism and kind of treat it as a joke, but the philosophies themselves have a lot of real world value in terms of like not because the thing is like if you're not careful, you can make a lot of decisions that'll really set you back in life if you listen to your ego all the time. So there is a lot of like real world benefit to learning about these kind of things, for sure. You don't enjoy Avatar? I watched it back whenever it was coming on Nicktoons as a kid. I thought it was funny, but I did re-watch it when I got older, and I still think it's decent. But it is vanilla. I can agree to that. It is vanilla.
Their wheels float aloft, never to fade. Shame your god self's little purpose, and mine
I've had people ask me about doing Super Saiyan Rage multiple times, and I would like to do a video about it, but just to give you an idea, Super Saiyan Rage is just Trunks's rage boost. But okay, here's the thing. So like in the manga, um, Trunks doesn't have rage. He can just push Super Saiyan 2 farther than regular Saiyans can because he's a hybrid. And I think Rage is a similar principle. But Rage is a bit more nuanced in the anime because Trunks goes into Super Saiyan Grade 3 for just a second and then shrinks his muscles down and like compresses them. So Super Saiyan Rage is a little bit. I think that what the Toei staff was thinking was it's like a homage to everything Trunks related in terms of like transformations and things of that nature. Um, So it's like everything, the fact that he's a hybrid, the fact that he can have rage boosts as a hybrid, the fact that it's been stated that Super Saiyan Grade 3 in the guidebooks for Trunks specifically brings out all of his latent potential. So the Grade 3 form for Trunks particularly, according to the guidebooks, is like a potential unlocked form, sort of, for Trunks. So Rage is there's just so many moving pieces to like what it is as a transformation. But thematically and narratively, it is literally just a representation of Trunks's love and admiration and sympathy for the people of Earth. Um, Whenever I see Trunks's rage boost transformation, I always think of when Goku became a Super Saiyan on Namek because, Goku became a Super Saiyan on Namek because he saw Krillin die, and Trunks, he's hyped up to be like all that's really important in that arc in terms of surviving. Bulma even tells him as much. All that matters is that you live, right? But Trunks is still so empathetic for the people of Earth and everything that they've been through that's what causes the rage that he needs to go into Super Saiyan rage. I find that very profound and interesting and cool. But there's just a lot of stuff to talk about for Rage Trunks. I definitely couldn't talk about all of it within within a small span of time. It would be a decently large video, but there's a lot more to Super Saiyan Rage that people want to give it credit for. I'll put it that way. Like Toei did actually put quite a bit of thought into what Rage was as a concept. I see it as a homage to Trunks as a character more than anything else. I don't. Probably not. I don't. I don't. The thing is like I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I've been having trouble getting views as it is on my YouTube channel. Unfortunately, probably due to me not being able to put out content as quickly or just lack of interest. But I know if I did an Avatar video, nobody would watch it, so I'm definitely not going to do that. But my last few videos have been a pretty big flop. Now my Vegito video, holy crap, man, that got 30,000 views. I was not expecting that at all. I was really happy about it. When my Gogeta and my Vegito videos did so well, I wasn't necessarily shocked completely because I know they're very popular characters, but I just wish I could keep up that momentum because I got 30K on that Vegito one. That was awesome. But yeah, I'm sorry. I don't see myself doing an Avatar video. My channel is mainly for Dragon Ball. That's part of the reason I even framed this video as like, a Dragon Ball fan playing Black Myth because, my channel is Dragon Ball centric and I like to try and keep it that way if I can. My channel is Dragon Ball I mean, within the Asian context, it is literally a demon form. Because what they believe turns you into a demon in Eastern mythology is your heart beating, basically giving into your survival instincts and your rage and the effect that it can have on your personality. That's what turns you into a demon. So technically, it is a demon form. It's just people don't want to accept that because it's not blatantly stated in the series. But if you look at the culture and like what Toriyama is referencing, it literally like is a demon form. Like that, like I got poisoned. Dang, that sucks. I didn't even realize that. Who poisoned me? Oh, it must have been one of those guys. I see. Did wait a minute? Is that what he gave me? Was antidotes? So does anybody know what happens when I die in this game? Like, how does that negatively impact me? I haven't got to like really. Wait, where'd this guy go? Yes, the Taoist deities are not necessarily good guys in Journey to the West. Like, just because they're gods doesn't mean that they're good. So, the only character that is treated like as consistently like a malevolent character in Journey to the West is um, is Buddha, because Buddha is the only one who's fully capable of taming the monkey mind. The reason that the Jade Emperor has so many issues with Sun Wukong is because he's a Taoist. He's not using the correct, um, you know, within the context of Journey to the West and within Buddhist philosophy, he's not necessarily using the correct um, method to subdue the monkey mind. He's trying to subdue it by force using his military rather than befriending it and trying to make it. Now, don't get me wrong, he does try to hire Sun Wukong at first and give him a position because he is advised to by one of his advisors. But his approach to um, taming Sun Wukong is inefficient and incorrect in comparison to how Buddha. Essentially, the entire idea is you're not supposed to attack the monkey mind. You're not supposed to treat it as your enemy, because once you do that, it becomes your enemy and then it becomes counterproductive to you. You're supposed to tame it and make it your best friend. So, yes, he is, in a sense, exposing like the hypocrisy of the Taoist deities and um, the fact that they are kind of pseudo deities in a sense. They're not the real thing. Like, they're literally only deities because they live in Taoist heaven and have all collectively figured out how to attain Taoist enlightenment and therefore immortality. So they're deities, but they're not deities in the stereotypical sense. Like, a lot of them were human, and they live in this exclusive like social club, this like social hierarchy, and yeah, Sun Wukong definitely calls attention to that for sure. It is different in the sense that the legends in Eastern mythology treat the impact that your ego and your emotions have on you in a much more literal sense. Basically, like, don't get me wrong, in Western mythology, they do teach you that the ego and all of this stuff, pride and all this stuff, it can have a negative impact on your personality and on your life. They do teach you that. But within Chinese mythology, it literally turns you into a demon. like literally. Like it's not like where it's a human like in most of the mythology it's literally demonic. It literally turns you into a demon. And there is some stuff like that in like Judeo-Christian lore and stuff like that. Like Satan himself is like a reference to the idea of the ego, very similar to Sun Wukong. There are a lot of parallels between Sun Wukong and Satan, but the ideology is completely different because God's not trying to tame the devil and make him his best friend. You know what I mean? So it's a very, very different thing. It's not the same. Like it's similar, but it's not the same. Like there's similarities through all religions and cultures and things like that. Like it, but it's just not the same thing. As a matter of fact, I'd say the author of Journey to the West did blatantly reference a lot of Judeo-Christian lore. The idea that Sun Wukong is trying to take over heaven. He's treated as a very demonic figure, and then he's banished from heaven into a symbolic hell and reincarnation in the form of Five Phases Mountain. So there is like a lot of there's a lot of crossover there, but it's philosophically and ideologically things are very different in the East and in the West. So, and as far as mythology goes, there's nothing that suggests that you will turn into a literal demon. Generally, I'm not saying that there's not like nuanced takes amongst like Western philosophy and Western thought where they treat it as like a demonic thing in a more literal and straightforward way than in Eastern mythology. But in Eastern mythology, for sure, they take all that stuff very literally. Like, so do I have antidote? Oh, the poison ran out. That's good. I guess the transformation cured it. I don't know. I just think Avatar. It's okay. When I say it's vanilla, I don't mean that it doesn't have deep themes because most fiction, even children's stories, have deep themes. It's just that it doesn't try to portray everything as philosophically as a lot of series in that way. It's mainly more so meant for entertainment. Now, I'm not saying that Dragon Ball isn't also made for entertainment. It's just that the subtle, the subtle and nuanced references to philosophy in Dragon Ball are much more well done and much more blatant and easier to dissect and more interesting to dissect and dive into than Avatar. Avatar has a lot of like lessons and stuff like that, but it's not. It's much more general. It's less nuanced and like Toriyama like mastered the art of like referencing 1,000 things at once. I've said that a bunch of times in my videos. Like there's so much stuff that you can dissect and look into in his videos, or in his work. Avatar is very surface level in comparison, not completely surface level, but just in comparison, it's not the same. Well, the angels are born with ultra instinct, but I don't know if they're born with the moves that they're capable of. I think they have to build up muscle memory just like anybody else. Now, it's very similar to okay, so for example, Whis is a defensive fighter, and the reason that Whis is generally a defensive fighter is because he has to remain neutral in combat. Like he's not allowed to like kill anyone or get attached or any of the, so if Goku was going to try and emulate Whis, all he would learn is defensive techniques. He wouldn't learn any offensive techniques really because Whis isn't allowed to do that. So I think that the only way the Angels really improve their aggressive offensive capabilities is when they're fighting other Angels who are better than them, and they have to like work around their ability to dodge and use defensive moves more effectively. So basically, the only counter to that is a better offense at that point. And so the Angels, like when they fight each other, I would say that's how they work on their offensive capabilities because they're fighting somebody that has a better defensive technique than themselves, right? So, like, Whis is never going to make any progress as an offensive fighter fighting somebody who's weaker than him that he's not even allowed to go all out against anyway. You know what I mean? So. Yeah, yeah. And we did say he got stronger since the last time he fought Valdos, which I find interesting. I low key think that Whis and Beerus have a rivalry. I know Beerus calls Whis his master, but I think that Beerus stubbornly wants Ultra Ego to be able to defeat Whis' Ultra Instinct, and in that sense, they have a rivalry. And I don't think that Beerus has ever been successful in that. But I do think that there is a rivalry there that people tend to overlook. Um, yeah, I agree with you. I think they do naturally, because they naturally have Ultra Instinct, they can naturally move well. You know, as Roshi states, like I do think that they can move well, but in terms of increasing their efficiency, I think Ultra Instinct is a never ending. There is no mastering Ultra Instinct. You know, I've heard people like complain about, well, when's he gonna? There is no mastering Ultra Instinct. There's always going to be somebody that's faster, stronger, that you can use to improve the techniques and the variations of what Ultra Instinct is. And that's why I think the Grand Priest essentially is like never like the Grand Priest is essentially like the best Ultra Instinct user that there is, period. And that's the reason that he's so strong. I don't think that he's necessarily like extremely um, physically strong, although he is. He very clearly is. But I don't think it's based on just his physical strength. I think that he has the best technique out of all the Ultra Instinct users, and that's the reason that he is such a superior fighter in comparison to pretty much everyone else. He is like an example of the idea that Ultra Instinct can improve and improve and improve and improve and improve. Like, yeah, I think when Beerus and Whis met, it likely drove Beerus insane that he couldn't do more damage to Beerus than he actually could, or to Whis, I mean.
Please pass this message to my master. Searching for deity, mortals do aspire. Craving immortality, Galguai surely.
There's nothing wrong with having a healthy rivalry as an angel. I don't know why that would be an issue. So this dude is clearly an Oni. I don't think I'm gonna be able to beat him, but if I'd have rested first, I probably could have beat him. But as is, with no health potions or anything, I don't think I'm gonna beat him. Oh, he's a poison user. I see. The Moro Sensu bean scene. I've talked about that so many times. Like, I've talked about it so many times. Oh. I mean, all you really need to understand that scene is to watch the interaction between Beerus and Goku prior to the Moro thing. Like, that's all you need. Honestly, that's all you need to understand that. Now, in terms of the philosophy of the Moro Moro versus Goku thing, that is very heavily based in like Taoist philosophy. So, like, one of the things that Taoists believe is that you should not basically, like, your attitude towards an individual, no matter how evil they are, defines how you would treat everyone else as a ruler, right? So if you're not willing to try and improve the lowest of the low beings that exist in the universe, then how can you expect to improve everything else? Right? It's kind of like a cop out. If you're not willing to try to and improve the most evil of the evil, then you're not it. That's essentially what Taoists believe. Like, you're supposed to have empathy and sympathy and mercy and consideration for all life, with no you know, exception. So that's a very, very heavily influenced by Taoism. I mean, Ultra Instinct itself is a Taoist technique. It's based on no-mindedness, so they're clearly referencing that as well. But when Goku gives Moro a sensu bean, like, he's okay. So what Goku does is he pulls a psych, and I'll explain this. I can't play the game and explain this at the same time. But Goku is used to being able to pull a psychological trick on the villains that he's dealt with. He did this with Piccolo when he gave him a sensu. But essentially, the idea is that he knows these characters are evil. He knows they have a massive ego, but he uses that to his advantage to use that as a motivation so that they feel the need to improve themselves. So just think about it this way: you're like an egotistical person, right? And you think you're like super hot stuff, and then this super humble guy comes around and he just whoops you, right? And of course, you're not as good a person as him. You're a very egotistical, evil person, but due to the fact that he is superior to you, because you have that attitude, it drives you nuts, right? It drives you nuts that this dude is more powerful than you. So what do? You start practicing martial arts because you want to improve as a person in terms of being a martial artist. And what that does is, because martial arts is essentially, in a lot of cases, Buddhism and Taoism in disguise, a lot of these characters will end up becoming better people simply by becoming martial artists. they're not actually even really better people. Like they're even like Frieza, for example. He's not actually a better person. He's still evil. But due to the fact that he's practicing martial arts, he appears as though he's a better person because in order to keep up with Goku, these characters are motivated and taught to practice martial arts. Essentially, like the effect that Grandpa Gohan had on Goku all those years ago, where Goku suffered an ego death by falling off a mountain, and then Gohan imprinted onto his nature. When Goku defeats an opponent, that is a form of ego death. And then afterwards, when they aspire to practice martial arts, they become better people, whether they realize it or not. And Goku is just used to being able to pull this trick on people. But the issue is that Moro refused to train. He refused to train as a martial artist. And at that point, that is the reason that when Goku asked Moro, "Hey, are you willing to train?" and Moro said no, that is what makes Moro a lost cause. Not being evil, none of that. Like him being evil is not what makes him a lost cause. It's his refusal to practice martial arts. The thing is like Goku by nature is not, he's a Saiyan. So like he has to use martial arts to constantly tame his nature. He has a demonic nature, despite the fact that he developed a Buddha nature by being raised by Grandpa Gohan. When his emotions come out, he has a demonic nature, and he has to use martial arts to tame that. So Goku essentially like tricks villains into doing that. He tricks villains into taming their demonic nature through martial arts, and they don't even realize that's what they're doing. They just think that they're trying to feed their ego and get stronger and catch up to Goku. But that's not what's happening. He's essentially tricking them into becoming better people, and that's what the Moro scene is all about. So I hope that helps. All right. I guess I should save all my abilities for the boss. I probably should buy some poison curing stuff, shouldn't I? It is literally look, dude. If he didn't do it that way, it would be horrible writing because it would contradict the very philosophy and everything that Dragon Ball is centered around. Like if he was just to just wipe Moro out, that would be anti Dragon Ball and anti martial arts in every single way. Like people say it's bad writing, but no, it's the opposite. Like if Goku, okay, so if Goku was to give in to his need, his sense of justice, like his personal idea of what's right and wrong, and just kill Moro blatantly, how is he any different than any villain he's ever ran into? He's still killing Moro based on a personal idea of morality and a personal idea of what's right and wrong. That's not martial arts. That is completely against the everything that Roshi taught Goku. It like the idea that it's bad writing, I can't agree with because you are literally seeing Goku in real time practice everything that Master Roshi taught him whenever he's interacting with Moro that way. Like it literally encapsulates like everything that Goku is as a character. Like it's definitely not bad writing. If you like the entire reason that Goku is successful is because every time he's put in these high stakes situations where he's put into a situation where he could give into his sense of justice, he could give into his ego, he chooses not to. He chooses to practice martial arts instead, and that's the reason that he's always successful. That's the reason that all of these characters come to, like, for example, in the Moro arc, the only reason that Goku survived Moro was because he had practiced the same attitude that he practiced towards Moro, towards everybody else in the past. Tien, Moro, Piccolo, Kid Buu, all of these people that he used the same approach that he used for Moro. All of those people were there giving him energy so he could defeat Moro. So like, no, I just don't agree that I can't agree that it's bad writing, because if Goku was to go against his own teachings and his own ideology and everything that he had been taught previously in the series, that would be horrible writing. Like, that's almost what Goku did whenever he fought Frieza on Namek. He almost gave into his sense of justice. He almost gave into his rage. He almost gave into his anger. And because he didn't, that's what made him successful. And that's how the writing of the series functions. Like, it's the idea that it shouldn't be written that way goes against what the nature of the series itself. Like, he killed Yakon because, actually, technically, Yakon killed himself. If you want to be really, really, if you want to be really specific about it, he actually killed himself. But what he did against Yakon or a number of characters is not going against the principles of martial arts. You know, the two main principles of Budo is, if you're going to kill your opponent, is to kill them instantly without malicious intentions, which is what he did against Yakon. That doesn't go against Roshi's teachings or the principles of martial arts at all. That's one of the, but also the second principle is to tame your ego in situations where you have the upper hand. So because Goku had the upper hand and Moro wasn't an immediate threat, that is the reason he couldn't just wipe out Moro, because he would be going against it. It's much more nuanced than people want to accept. Like, think about it within the context of martial arts. Martial arts is a self-defense ideology. It is all about it's about self-defense. It's about making sure malicious intentions doesn't affect your mind, things of that nature. So when you think about it that way, if Goku was to just wipe out Moro because he wanted to, and he, despite the fact that he had the upper hand, that it's just not. Not only is it not in Goku's character to do that, it's against everything that the series stands for. And every time people start criticizing the Moro thing, I'm like, man, like, people that I respected in the community, that I looked up to in terms of their perception of the series, also criticized the Moro saga, and it was very, very, very disappointing to me. Like, I hated seeing that, because it's so blatantly obvious why Goku does what he does. Like, it's like, I don't know. It's one of those, like, it's a pet peeve. The Moro thing is a pet peeve for me, to be honest with you, because it's like, it separates the men from the boys, in my opinion, in terms of, like, people's understanding of what Dragon Ball is. Like, it really does. First of all, he would have spared Cell if Cell had shown to have the mindset of a martial artist, which is why Goku tests Cell in the tournament, right? There's more nuance to Cell too. Like, Goku was trying to feed into Cell becoming a martial artist the same exact way that he was Moro. It's just that once Cell revealed that he was not in any way going to budge in terms of, it's very similar to Moro. As soon as he revealed that he wasn't willing to, like, practice the ideology of a martial artist, he was like, well, we can't spare him. Whenever Gohan goes Super Saiyan 2 against Cell and gives into the effect that Super Saiyan is having on his personality, that is literally to show you why what Goku does whenever he spares an opponent or has mercy on them has merit, and why he can't let malicious conscious intentions infect his mind like Gohan did. Gohan is literally like a opposite, conceptually, to what happened on Namek. So, like, Gohan is kind of treated like what would happen if Goku gave into his rage on Namek, and how he would have suffered for that. And Ultra Instinct is just, it's literally, it complements what happens with Cell. It doesn't contradict it at all. because Goku is literally practicing what he tried to teach Gohan against Cell whenever he's doing everything that he does against Moro. He tests Moro to see if he's capable of becoming a martial artist. And then once he realizes that Moro's not capable of it, he is more than willing to just wipe out Moro in one blow like he was taught. As a matter of fact, like a couple chapters before Goku used Ultra Instinct, he tried to wipe out Moro in one Kamehameha when he was in Super Saiyan Blue because he wasn't in a position to try and test Moro as a martial artist. Like Goku did try to instantly kill Moro in the Moro arc. Like he did. But the second that he had the opportunity to try and influence Moro as a martial artist, he took advantage of it. So it's way more nuanced and stuff than people want to give it credit for, you know. Dang, I have 7 sparks I can spend. Let's go. Well, yeah, I mean, Goku did mess around and he did waste time, but I don't see that as a bad thing. Like, unless you want Goku to be like a perfect character, which I think is like absolutely ridiculous. I think that's an absolutely ridiculous idea. I think the fact that Oob and everybody else was there to back up Goku to help save the day because of Goku's previous decisions as a martial artist, I think that that is a way more superior ending than Goku just let me just go against everything I've ever been taught and kill Moro. Like it's like come on, like no. So there is an item. You hold right trigger, and there's an item that you can use. You can okay. So you can go to your inventory. Somebody actually taught me this earlier in the stream. You can go to your inventory, and there's this talisman thing, and you can equip it to one of these slots, and that's how you teleport back to the level up place or whatever. I wonder if it'll let me go back to the previous areas. I'm sure it would. Well, yeah, but Dragon Ball Z redoes everything that Dragon Ball does. Like, don't get me wrong, you're right. Like, Super does like redo a lot of the stuff that Dragon Ball Z does, but Dragon Ball Z is literally just, bro. Namek is just a repeat of a lot of the story beats from King Piccolo. Like Krillin getting killed, Goku almost falling victim to his emotions. Like, because Dragon Ball is an allegory for specific teachings and martial, the idea of martial arts and stuff like that, they do repeat narrative themes over and over and over again because they're trying to teach you something. They're trying to reinforce an idea in your mind. And that, honestly, ironically, despite the fact that they do repeat the same narrative themes and story beats and stuff like that over and over again, it blows my mind how little fans have caught on to what the series has been trying to literally beat into your head for years. Like, it's so funny. It's so funny and interesting to think about. Like, for example, like the amount of people that like love Vegeta, despite the fact that he's a representation of the ego, not just in martial arts, but like spiritually and stuff like that. Like, I don't know, man. Like, a lot of people psychologically relate to things that reveal things about them that I don't think they realize. Like, not that you can't be a fan of Vegeta, but like, being a fan of like the way Vegeta does things, like being extremely egotistical and stuff like that, it kind of says a lot about your character. Like, well, Goku, Ultra Instinct is literally a representation of Goku's nature as an Earthling. Like, it's literally like an exaggerated. It's like if you took all of Goku's Saiyan traits and cut them out and only had his Earthling nature come through completely. And that's part of the reason that Goku acts the way he does towards Moro, because his heart is completely calm. He's not in a survival situation where he feels the need. Like, part of what justifies Goku killing people is that he normally does it in a state of fight or flight, in response to a survival situation, right? And that justifies, he's doing it out of instinct. He's not doing it with conscious malicious intentions. He's allowing his survival instincts to infect his mind, in the sense that he's just allowing them to take over and help him survive in a battle situation. He's not letting it affect his conscious thoughts. He's just letting the effect that it has on his instincts empower him and help him keep a clear mind and a pure mind in a situation where he is going to try and kill someone, right? Whereas, like, in Ultra Instinct, Goku is incapable of going into a state of fight or flight like that, because his heart is always calm. So he's never going to he doesn't have the excuse that he normally has when he kills someone, which is why he had to come to the conclusion he did before he was willing to wipe out Moro. Like, oh, so close. Vegeta is a good guy in a lot of ways, but he's still a villain towards villains. Like, he still has like his, like, the one thing that Vegeta has that still makes him villainous is that he enjoys killing villains. So he's not a completely good. He's not like Goku, and he never will be like Goku, for the record. He's always going to enjoy killing villains. Like, he's never going to be like Goku, where he like Vegeta is meant to be the opposite of Goku in that way. He embraces the effect that his ego has on his conscious thoughts. He's always going to enjoy. He's a villain towards villains, like I said. Like, he is a good guy. Don't get me wrong, but he's still sort of treated like pure evil, in the sense that he believes that his way of doing things is correct over Goku's way of doing things. So he is a better person, but he still kind of encompasses those themes of like pure evil because he still feels that he's justified in his actions and that his way of doing things are superior to Goku. So and he's still egotistical, and you know there are tons of things about Vegeta's character traits that aren't necessarily good. I mean, we all know this. Whew, got him. Oh yeah, yeah, ultra, yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's literally. I pointed this out in my last video, but the point of Ultra Instinct is it's supposed to be ironic that Sun Wukong and Goku are based on the monkey mind, and Ultra Instinct and no mindedness is the exact opposite of monkey mind in every way. Like it's not allowing that to affect your conscious thoughts at all. So yeah, there's irony and cool symbolism in that for sure. All right, I beat him without leveling up. Let's go. All right, let's retrieve spirits. What's this? Oh, I see. Okay. So the spirits are your transformations, I assume. Interesting. Wait, will it not let me level up? Oh, self advance. There it is. Majin Vegeta is a similar idea to Ultra Ego. I wouldn't say it's the same. It's similar. He was trying to allow, his evil, conscious, malicious intentions to infect his mind because he felt that that's what he needed to be. But destruction is different than evil. Not the same thing at all. Destruction is amoral in nature. It's treated as like something that's necessary. It's like a law of the universe, which makes Vegeta as a destroyer amoral rather than evil. So Majin Vegeta is about letting his evil take over, whereas Ultra Ego Vegito is about Ultra Ego Vegeta is about letting destruction take over his mind, not evil. So they're different. They're similar, but they're not the same. Destruction is like a justification of Vegeta's previous ideology. It takes what Vegeta believes and it frames it in a way to where it's no longer evil, it's amoral in nature instead. Because it brings merit to Vegeta's ideologies, right? Like it makes it seem as though there is some merit and justification to how Vegeta feels about things, which we already kind of knew anyway because Goku had to take on Vegeta's pride to become a Super Saiyan and defeat Frieza on Namek. So we already knew that there was some merit to it, but destruction really reinforces that as an idea. So Chinese lore and Japanese lore in terms of Dragon Ball are connected to one another. So Budo is a Japanese martial art that was heavily influenced by Chinese philosophical concepts such as Buddhism and Taoism. I mean, Japanese culture is heavily centered around Buddhism, which came from China. So, despite the fact that they are two different cultures, they're connected. Like they're very very heavily connected because Japan adopted a lot of ancient Chinese philosophy into their country. Oh, which one do I prefer? Um, they're both so cool, man. That's a tough question. That's a really tough question. Hit me with the tough ones. Ugh. I have such an appreciation and fondness and love for most Eastern mythology and philosophy. It's just really hard, and there's also connected. It's like I can't really give, like if I said Japanese, right? Let's just say let's say I said that I prefer Japanese mythology. Japanese mythology is literally just an extension of Chinese mythology in a lot of ways. So I would kind of be robbing Chinese mythology of some of the credit in that way. So it's a hard question to answer, to be honest. It's just like I do like a lot of the old legends and stories about samurais killing yokai. I think that's awesome. Like the demon hunting samurai, kind of like Demon Slayer, the anime. Like I like a lot of those old. That's where Demon Slayer gets all of its stuff. To be honest, it's just replicating a bunch of old Japanese legends of Japanese samurais killing demons. Even the idea, because the samurai themselves, they also tried to attain, because they practice Budo. They also tried to attain a state of no mind, so that way when they killed somebody with their samurai sword with the katana, they weren't doing it with malicious intentions. They would essentially, like a lot of what Goku practices is like a hybrid of what samurai practice and what general Chinese Buddhist monks and martial arts practice. Like there's a lot of influence from a bunch of different things there. Like the entire reason that samurai behave that way is because of Buddhist monks and Taoist monks and the effect that they had on each other's philosophies. So they're kind of like inseparable in that way. Like I don't know. So okay, I assume that the purpose of these bells is to ring one every time you complete an area to make the area harder, which makes sense and it's cool. I like that. I guess awesome. Because they're always after the boss for the area, so it lines up. All right, I'll probably try to make it to the next area boss, and then I'll probably call it a day. Lego Monkey Kid's actually pretty good, to be honest. I'm not a huge fan of the fan base for Lego Monkey Kid, but the show itself, in terms of like how it plays on Journey to the West lore and stuff like that, is pretty good.
These snake guys are nothing to fear. Snake gall steeped in drink, though, makes a fine tonic to flush malady. Here, here, young friend. Be my benefit.
Yeah, Wu Wei can have a huge impact on your life. It can help you achieve things. The key is to, it's okay to have, um, goals and want to achieve things. But the second you start letting all that affect your conscious thoughts, you like hinder your ability to achieve your goals. So let's say like you get your heart like set out on achieving something, right? And then you don't achieve it, right? Or at least you don't achieve it as quickly as you would like. The effect that that can have on your emotional state can actually rob you of achieving your goal, because you can't perform at max efficiency if you're letting the idea that you failed prevent you from, um, you know, continuing to improve and get better and eventually achieve your goals. So yeah, like it's a very important philosophy. It can have a huge impact on your life. Uh, Shen Monkey. So he's an alcoholic monkey. That's funny. Oh, looks like I just ran into a boss. Yeah, I think after I fight this boss, I'll probably call it a day. Um,
Hail bird, hail bird, what dimmed your shine? Past script beyond uncast.
yes, I have watched Street Fighter: The Assassin's Fist. Street Fighter, in terms of like martial arts philosophy, you could it's not directly referencing Journey to the West, but because Journey to the West is a reference to this philosophy in martial arts, there is crossover there. Like that's the reason that there's an ultra instinct like concept in Journey to the or in Street Fighter, and an ultra ego like concept in Street Fighter. The Akuma's technique. You know, I was going to try and beat him without using a gourd, but I chickened out at the last minute. Oh, crap. Yeah, same thing, Priya. I'll probably start streaming again tomorrow night after my stream with Geekdom, because me and him are doing the Mongolian tomorrow. Oh shit, this isn't over. Oh shit. Oh shit. Okay. Okay. All right. Wow. Should have saw that one coming. As many times as I played Dark Souls games. And Elden Ring. Elden Ring has a bunch of boss fights like that. All right. Well, I guess I'm not leaving yet, guys. I gotta beat this snake boss. See if I have any level up stuff. Nope, sure don't. Well, I'm glad you got that satisfying conclusion out of what just happened. Well, I guess now that I know he has a second form. Yeah, I did beat Elden Ring. My guy's OP on Elden Ring, actually. But yeah, now that I know he has a second form, I'm gonna try and like conserve some shit. Is this? I wonder if this character is supposed to be somebody I know, and they're just keeping it secret. All right. Like I said, I just can't stand the script for the dub. Can't stand it. Um, I thought about setting the voices to Chinese, but I thought the English stuff would be funnier. I actually put it on the English stuff because I wanted to like laugh at like the dub, but it hasn't been as funny as I thought it would be. Because normally the dubs in like Chinese movies are hilarious, especially Journey to the West movies. All right. So I take it this game auto saves. I'm assuming it does. Let me go to the next altar and then I'll probably. Does anybody have any questions before I go? Anything you've been wanting to ask me for a while? I'm sure. I mean, you guys have been loading me down with questions, so I'm sure you probably asked me a bunch of what you wanted to already. But did I miss the altar? Did I walk past it? Did I miss the altar? Did I walk past it? I don't see it. Sweet. Break time. Hmm. No, I don't agree with the idea that Goku had to devolve to evolve. I mean, he just takes ideas from his past and implements them the way that, like, by that logic, that's been Goku's entire character arc, and that will always be Goku's entire character arc because he's got to maintain balance, right? So to claim that he is devolving to evolve, you're basically just, in other words, saying that he needs to maintain balance, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's not the way to look at it. That's not how it's actually. He needs to balance his Saiyan nature with his earthly nature. That's been the point of his character from like day one. You know, a lot of people are like, "Oh, no, he. I mean, he is relearning the merit of his ways as an Earthling. That's true. Just the same way that he was relearning the merit of his ways as a Saiyan. But this idea that he devolves, I don't know about that. I don't know about that specifically. I cannot find this altar for the life of me. Surely they wouldn't put it this far past uh, the boss. Surely. I cannot find this altar for the life of me. Surely they wouldn't put it this far past the boss. Surely. Did I walk past it? I guess I must have. There's no way. That'd be weird if they like had a respawn, like a respawn point / altar, like that past that many enemies. That's just strange. That'd be weird if they like had a respawn, like a respawn point / altar, like that past that many enemies. Okay, I have a feeling that this is going to be something significant. Oh no, it's just a bunch of enemies. That's not big deal. All right, well, it auto saved. I think I'm just gonna call it quits, guys. Um, I appreciate you guys so much for stopping by the stream. Like I said, I'll probably be streaming again tomorrow after the Mongolian with Geekdom 101. So I will see you guys then. Thank you guys. If you want to tune in, I'll see you guys then. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you guys in the next stream. I should have a video coming out on the channel soon. I'm not going to spoil what it is, but I am currently editing another video for the channel, so get hyped for that. It's going to be very interesting, but I will definitely see you guys soon, and that way as well, you'll get to see some new content from me soon. But tomorrow I'll be streaming again, hopefully after my stream with Danny, so don't forget to tune in. But thank you guys so much for joining, and I'll see you guys tomorrow if you want. It'll be, I think the stream with me and Geekdom normally goes from like 4 to 6 p.m., which means tomorrow will be like a stream like later in the day. So it'll probably be, I don't know, from like 8 to 10 or something like that. So just be on the lookout. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.